Good morning. It's day 2 in Berlin. Not quite recovered from jet lag. It's currently 9:45 and I woke up at 6. Tried to get back to sleep. Was unsuccessful. We're being picked up in about 15 minutes by the folks from Card Market, and then we're going to go over to their studio and make some content. They have a battery of videos ready for us, and I'm really excited. This is a wonderful thing to get to do, so stoked about it. We've been to a coffee shop just down the road here twice now. Excellent food. Their coffee is fine, but their food is great, and the vibes are awesome. And we were going to go somewhere else this morning, but then it started absolutely pouring with rain, and we decided they're close, so we'll go there instead. So, yeah, just a few more minutes, and then we'll be on our way to do some videos. And then I think they're taking us out to dinner at, they said, the most German restaurant. And I don't know what that means, because so far we've had Chinese food, which was great. We've had poke, which was also very good. We've not had what I would call quintessentially German cuisine. So I'm hoping they're taking us somewhere with like schnitzel and beer.
Probably.
That's my hope. You know, when we take people for food, when they come visit us for like the PPR or something, we do take them to a bunch of different places, but one of them is the pierogi bar. Not Canadian, but we do recommend the pierogi poutine.
Well, I mean, I would say that pierogi, because there's a lot of Ukrainian people in Canada, like something
That's
like,
true.
I don't know, like 20% of Canadians have like Ukrainian heritage or something like that somewhere in their family. Like it's a bananas amount.
Yeah.
I feel that pierogi is a Canadian food by adoption. If you want real Canadian food, we're talking Indigenous food, First Nations food, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
there's not a lot of places in downtown Victoria to get, you know, bannock, for example.
yes.
Although, this is kind of funny, one of the places that Carl from Card Market recommended, not a specific place, but there were two sort of like, hey, if you want like fast food options that are quintessential to the area, and they're both like semi-imported. One of them is currywurst, which is a bratwurst but with curry on it, and the other is like this thing called donair. Right. And I'm like,
oh, we have donair at home.
We have, yeah, Canada.
So much donair.
We've had it for years in Victoria. It's great. Boy, it is really tipping it down. I'm not used to a 0th floor.
No.
It's usually ground or main. But I like 0. 0 makes sense. Or 1.
Oh, one fun thing you might have found out from the DDR. Oh, we just passed it. You see that little green man?
Yeah.
On the thing? You can always tell if you're in the east or the west of Berlin because of the traffic signs. It's called the Ampelmann. It's a little man. It means like the light bulb man. And he used to be in the east. They spent a lot of money developing traffic signs. The goal at the beginning of East Germany was to make an ideal life for everyone. It didn't work out, as we all know, the wall and yada yada. Yeah. But the goal was to make an ideal life for everyone. And they put a lot of research into like small, minute things, including traffic safety. So they had a huge team developing these tiny Ampelmanns, and they came up with like, what's the most convincing way to get people to cross the street effectively? Let's put a little man, he'll have a hat because he's a worker, and then when it's red, he's gonna be like this to tell people you don't cross, yes, no. And they spent a lot of money, they put it all through East Germany, and when the wall came down, they tried to get rid of all the symbols of oppression, including the Ampelmann, which was in the east. But people loved it so much that people protested and they had to put them all back. And even now, when they take down traffic lights in the west, they put up an Ampelmann, because it's like a symbol of Berlin.
Wow.
So it's like one of the only nice things that happened in East Germany.
Wow.
But now you can always tell if you're in the east or the west. As soon as you cross where the wall used to be, the traffic lights change. You normally don't need to tell. Like it's not that important anymore.
I figured it wasn't, but I just kind of was like, is there a difference in architecture quality or something?
A huge one, yeah. Because one of the sides was practical and the other, one of them was capitalist, the other side was communist.
Yeah.
So if you look here, none of the buildings have, like, they're all flat. None of them have like classic European kind of sculptures in them or moldings. And as soon as you cross into the west, suddenly all the buildings look nicer.
Oh.
because here it was all about being practical and giving people like low income people cheap apartments.
Right.
Then in the West, it's capitalism. It's you pay for your nice property in a gentrified neighborhood.
I will say, because I'm from Canada, these are better architecturally than most of the buildings that we have at home.
This?
Yeah.
Oh.
Canada is very beautiful, but we don't have any, like, we have some good heritage architecture,
It's a lot
but
of
not
very
much.
Nice nature.
Yes.
Like you're from Vancouver, right?
Vancouver, which is the main city, and then there's Victoria, which is on Vancouver Island, very confusingly, like just right, like it's a ferry ride away.
Okay.
So about an hour and a half ferry ride to get to a different island.
That's a long ferry ride.
The longest ferry ride in our province takes about 20 hours.
Oh, is this live? I thought you were just very impractically holding your camera.
You voluntarily launched into an explanation of literally the first thing I was going to ask you, which is, what's up with this little green man and why is he shaped like that?
Oh, that's perfect. Wow, it's like I read your mind. We're at the corner now. The tram's going to pass there. You might have noticed so far, Germany's based on a truss system. So you can just kind of walk in and off of the trains.
I did
Which we
notice
did.
that.
We got our 24-hour transit passes, and then there didn't seem to be any way to prove that we had them when we got on the tram, so we just sat down. But we had them.
Yeah, you did the right thing.
Okay, good.
It's a trust-based system, so it costs a lot more money to check everyone, and also it means maybe like homeless people can be able to take it without being blocked off, and all the money they save on controlling everyone and making sure that everyone has a ticket, they reduce the cost with.
Are you paying attention, BC Transit and TransLink especially?
I hate to break this to you, Graham, but the SkyTrain used to operate on a truss system, and then they brought in turnstiles when they updated the compass system. Because on the Vancouver and Victoria system, it's all done by like little like tappy cards, where you have to tap your card as you get in.
Oh, like in Paris or London?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't care about football at all. Sorry, viewers who do. But I would love to watch a Euros game that Germany is participating in at one of these bars with fans that give a shit.
Oh, the whole neighborhood starts yelling at the same moment. It's actually really fun. I don't understand the game because this guy's running around in pajamas for 2 hours and just scoring 1 point per hour. But the excitement around it is I do recommend it. Maybe Sunday. I don't think there's a Germany match Sunday. Everyone's watching them anyways. I think the next Germany match is Tuesday, which we could go watch if you want. We could find a nice spot, grab a very tall beer, and then get really loud every time Germany scores.
You had me at really tall beer.
Excellent.
So Kathleen, I'm realizing now from the description of the tiny men who tells you when it's okay to cross the road, I don't think we've been to the former West Berlin yet.
No, I don't think so.
I think we've only been in and around what used to be the East or the GDR.
Like two cities. A lot of people who live in the East go to the West once a year and it's to visit like a dentist. And a lot of the people who go to the West, who live in the West, almost never go to the East.
Really?
Yeah, the city's really large. You did come with songs or you have to keep trying?
So many stairs.
It's the weekend, so of course the office is completely empty. There's more office this way. This is the studio. The lights aren't on yet, so it doesn't look exactly the same. The first video we're doing is Commander, but with a shop. The first shop you'll enter is you'll pick a deck based on strength. The more cards you discard at the beginning of the game, the stronger the deck you get.
And the thought of a place where everyone is organized and on top of things, it's like this is the country I was meant to live in.
Well, the stereotype, maybe, how to say, Germany's maybe not as efficient as people like to think. A lot of things work with paper and not digitally.
Also, Berlin is like the least German place in Germany, I guess.
If you tell most Germans that you visited Germany and they'll be like, where have you been? And you'll say Berlin, they'll be like, you've not been to Germany.
I'm not going to see, okay.
If Berlin is the least German place in Germany, where's the most German place in Germany?
Bavaria. That's where they have the lederhosen, the funny accents. They eat the pretzel. They have sausage for breakfast with beer. That's Bavaria.
Okay.
Berlin, for breakfast, they have a cigarette. maybe. Like it's different.
A lot of people
A
smoke.
lot of people smoke in here, yeah.
You can smoke in bars here, which is shocking to most people.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like you're not in Berlin, you're in the 1980s.
Torolf, what is this? Sorry?
So we have mate, which is, well, not German, but it was kind of popularized in Berlin and Germany. It's a South American drink. They drink it hot and from like a little pouch. And then, but we have it as a soft drink. And the main feature is that it tastes really bad at the first time and nobody likes it. It's like beer. You know how somebody tries beer and they're like, "Ugh, don't like beer?" It's like this. But then after like the second or fourth time, you're kind of like, I'll go with it as caffeine. And now everybody drinks it. So you're going to try it.
You're saying that students don't drink coffee anymore? That doesn't make sense to me.
No, they drink coffee, but if they're cool students, they drink mate. Like, for example, all the computer science people, I think the like mathematical thing, they drink mate, but also the philosophical, everybody drinks mate. And I can tell you, you will have a very certain taste what it tastes like the first time. Look at this. It also looks a little bit like beer, but it has no alcohol.
I mean, it smells sweet. And like tea. It's very herbal.
So you can also have a try, but
Thank you.
there's a very common first distinct thing people say.
That's an interesting smell.
It's okay, so I'm getting notes of raisin, like dried fruit.
I don't think there's breakfast. It's just a herbal thing. Yeah, that's Adrian probably.
Okay, so I'll go now.
Yeah, you can go. Hello.
I thought it was going to be like when I went to Chicago and was obliged to drink Malort, and that was awful.
Have you?
I don't know. Very common.
Oh yeah, you must like it.
It was harder.
I've just been told again that it's an aberration that Kathleen and I enjoyed
Yeah.
mate. Apparently,
This is delicious from your fourth, not from your first.
well, I didn't say it was delicious. I just said I didn't hate it, and it didn't taste like what, cigarette ash. It did not taste like that. It tastes.
Ash or plums, but like old plums.
Those are two very different things, Carl.
Somehow.
All right, we have now had hair and makeup, and it is time to play Commander with theatrics, my favorite kind. Carl warned us this morning that he said the room would look smaller on camera, as if every single person who's ever been to the moon base hasn't gone, oh. It always looks larger on camera. Carl, what are we doing?
You're not supposed to know yet. What you are supposed to think you're doing is
Okay.
playing Commander.
I thought that's what we were doing.
But I have a lot of tricks under my top hat. No, you're not allowed to
Okay,
peek.
all right, fine. All right. We'll find out soon, I guess. That was a very long and silly and delightful and fun game of Commander. And if you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. I'm sure by the time that you've seen this, that will have been available for some tremendous amount of time. I am now trying the iced tea variant of the mate, and it's not that much sweeter, I would say.
May I try?
Please. It's nice, honestly.
Oh, is it the iced tea?
Yeah, that's nice.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I have to unsubscribe from your thing.
It's fine.
So Tarolf let in with that it would be bad and that we would not like it, and then we did not immediately detest it. Or is there something wrong with this?
It's the version for weak people.
What this one is?
Yeah.
I didn't mind the other one either.
I guess you're just fans of.
You're German.
Cool then.
Stark. You know this probably, but Stark is actually strong. And
Yeah. Oh, I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're German blood.
It's because I'm so very stark. You see.
I wore my lightest outfit today, but I just basically wore a tank top and jeans. I was gonna wear my jacket, but I went, no, I don't want to be stressed out and hot while I'm playing the game.
Hey, Carl, what are all these framed cards representing?
It's our spoiler cards for different games.
Aww.
So we have a lot of Flesh and Blood ones. I'm embarrassed to say I don't know what the game of the top left is. And then those are our Magic spoilers. So Plague Engineer, Giganta. If you guys could have a seat,
Yep.
pick
Yeah.
the side that suits you the best.
We just did some interviews for the Freitag Nachts episode of the videos that we're doing for Card Market, and I think it went very well. We basically just riffed. Carl just gave us like general ideas of the sort of things that he wanted us to say, and then we just sort of went for it, and I think it went very well. It was fun. Again, that's also a video that you'll be able to see before this will be released. Ah. Just over my shoulder, they've set a screen up to watch the game.
The second one that happened, I think like 6 days ago, 30 million people watched it.
Wow.
That is about a third of Germany.
And you would know when anyone would score because everyone in the neighborhood would yell.
It's comparable to football, like to the Super Bowl stuff.
We're 4 minutes into the game of Turkey versus Portugal, and apparently this part of Berlin has a very heavy Turkish population, and so there's a lot of people emotionally invested in this game.
You know, I told you before when they developed all the system for the Ampelmann and the public transit and everything, East Berlin went in, although they did the terrible stuff, they went in with ideas to make things good, and they knew their system would be very, very, very bureaucratic. So they knew that they require a lot of paperwork and photography, but photography was super expensive. So what they did is they made these photo automats. They made them through the city of East Berlin, and they gave anyone the access for 2 Deutsche Mark to get their photos taken because they knew that you needed photos for everything. And they had high quality photography that was done in a small lab that's in here. When you get your cameras, they smell like cabbage still because they just were developed in this small photo lab. They're through the city. When the wall came down, they took them all down. But people had a lot of nostalgia for these. Because in a time where everyone's spying on you, and people are bugging your phone, and people are all sneaking on each other and telling the government that they've seen you do this and that, you could sneak into these, close the curtain, and have a few moments of privacy. If you were with your lover, for example, like, gay lovers really cared about this, because you could hide with someone, just pretend you're taking photos, and it was the only place where no one would tell tale on you. When the wall came down, a lot of people felt very nostalgia for these. So these 2 Berlin guys went to Switzerland. They went and they studied. They did an internship for about 2 years to figure out how to refurbish these. They then went on this huge project funded mostly by East Germans who gave them money to be able to sponsor this concept, where they went through all over the world that these were resent afterwards because they didn't just trash them. A lot of them were resold. Spain, Canada, North America. They found all of them that they could. They brought them back. They spent years building them up again, and they had this huge announcement in 2006 that they were bringing them back. They had Rosa Luxemburg Platz. They had the announcement that the first one would be set, and there was a lineup around the block. Up until recently, it was still €2, only €2 to take the photo. Now they moved it up to 3 because it's pretty hard to maintain, and fundies couldn't run dry because maybe some of the nostalgic people are dying because it's been a long time. But a night out in Berlin is not a true night out unless at some point you drunkenly stumble into one of these and take some photos. If you visit almost anyone, the mirrors somewhere in their apartment will have 6 or 7 strips of photos of these. So I think we should make Berlin history for you guys. And you'll see, you look sharper than you ever have in these.
That's tremendous. I'm in.
Yes.
Absolutely.
These are very cool. We each get one. We'll have a
There is not a single pub or restaurant or business that has sidewalk space or patio that does not have a television operational right now. I'm now just sitting on a sidewalk with a television, watching the game. We found a place to sit, and we were informed by the people who very kindly made room for us that we could sit down and join them, but we had to cheer for Turkey, which we were fine to do. The game's not quite over yet, and Turkey's getting rumbled 3-0 at the moment, one of which was a very embarrassing own goal. But it's dinner time, so we're going to dinner. I mean, not for nothing, in the time it took Turkey to score 0 goals and Portugal to score 3, I managed to drain 2 beers, so...
They scored again.
I mean, one of us is doing something correctly. One of the most entertaining parts about our brief interlude before dinner was all the different bars and restaurants in the area. Everybody's feed of the game slightly out of sync with one another, expressing their dismay at the yellow cards in this sort of ripple effect as it spread through the neighborhood as people's connections caught up. A lot of yellow cards. Or maybe not, I don't know, I don't watch football. So Fede, you're Austrian.
Yes.
You brought us to a place called Austria.
Yes, I'm sorry.
What should I eat in Austria? At Austria in Germany.
So first of all, if you feel like a soup, you should have the frittaten. That's pancake stripes in a bouillon. It's very
Okay.
Austrian and it's very, very, very tasty.
Okay. Originally, I wasn't into the idea of soup, but now you've piqued my interest.
If soup, that's soup.
Okay.
I mean, this place is really, really famous for the schnitzel.
This is Germany. Austria together. Schnitzel is the big dish. It's the main event. And they have a schnitzel that is so large that it takes multiple people usually to finish it.
You know I'm here for that wiener art.
I'm going to get the schnitzel, but I'm gonna get gross schnitzel.
Spargelsuppe? If there's something more German,
Asparagus tastes like that.
okay, once a year in Germany, this is bigger than the World Cup. There's Spargelsaison, which is asparagus season, and every single restaurant, including IKEA, has to bend over and pray to Spargelsaison, asparagus season. And they have a Spargelsuppe, an asparagus soup. And I would say if there's one thing more traditional than pancake soup, it's asparagus soup. It's the Super Bowl of Germany.
Well, it's actually a bowl.
It's the Super Bowl. Yeah. Ah, yeah.
Delish. So good. So rich.
All right.
Yeah, schnitzelt. I am schnitzelt. Officially schnitzelt.
I've definitely also been schnitzeled. I had an awful lot of schnitzel. I had some of mine, I had all of mine, and some of Kathleen's, and all of my beer and some of Kathleen's beer, which might explain why I'm having difficulty speaking. But that was delicious, and thanks to the folks at Card Market for showing us a lovely time, which is great, because so far we've had terrific food here in Berlin, but none of it is what I would call, stereotypical German cuisine. And neither was this, it was Austrian. I stopped to take video, they left me behind. Being taken part of the way home. Carl, what's going on?
Hello, I'm making sure we go in the right direction because we just went in the wrong direction on the U7 and ended further away from your destination. My apologies.
Whoopsies.
are managing to navigate our way around here fairly well, I would say.
Yeah.
We were assisted, obviously, by Carl. It was a big help. But this is working out well in terms of finding our way around, and excellent public transit. Always a key. I love Berlin's attitude to public transit and how easy it is to use, because you don't have to worry about tapping your thing to get on, because they don't really enforce it that hard, or at least they do enforce it, but not like you can just kind of get on. We've been paying every time, but that's because we're Canadian.
I want to
See?
support the system.
Yeah, see, it's my ticket.